Okay. Hello, my beautiful collective. My name is Calum. I am an empath, a psychic, and oracle of sorts, and we're going to get a reading out today. I've already done a full spread here, and there's a lot of cards to go over. I don't even know where to start with this energy because it is very extensive. Before we jump into it, I'm going to ring this bell. I don't even know if it's going to come through on the audio. I have like noise canceling mode on my microphone, but we'll see. If you have a sound sensitivity, I would turn the volume down just in case, and you'll have to let me know how it sounds. But I'm going to ring that in 3, 2, 1. The bell didn't really want to ring today. I do that just to clear the energy and space around us from any outside harmful energies, just to get us off on even footing. So the first card that I pulled is this Wicca Oracle card. I don't know how to pronounce this, and I don't know if I'm going to try. Super Aude or something. And this is an interesting card because it speaks about being at a threshold. Being at the foot of the guardian, of the gatekeeper. I'm going to read the oracle for this card. You stand before the Sphinx with the spear of your will, quadrupedal at dawn, standing on 2 legs during the day, and wandering 3-footed in the early evening. This is how the eternal Sphinx sees us. The enigma must be solved with the perfect truth in the heart. Failure is possible if you do not accept the dark side of knowing, which can lead to madness and arrogance. There's nothing left to hide. Let's reveal everything about ourselves. We are Oedipus, and in an eternal way, the triple beast we are. In us, all that we are and all will be and have been. The oracle is the search is over. The last question needs a definitive answer that is within you. You are before the guardian of the threshold. With all of yourself, nothing of what you are can be hidden. Every fear in the heart must be left behind. The key is in passage. The magic words are enigma and unveiling, and the power is in the great priest/priestess. So there's some kind of situation that you have been. It feels like a change of course in a way. I want to say like initiation, but that's kind of an intense word for it. It's more like. Like the card talks about, an unveiling of self. It feels like you are being handed an opportunity to like show what you're made of. So I pulled 3 cards. We're using the Starman Tarot today. I don't remember who made this deck. By David DeAngelis. It's a very beautiful deck. It's inspired by the David Bowie artwork. I actually think he did the artwork for David Bowie, but don't quote me on that. So our first card is the 6 of Wands, and then we pulled the Ace of Wands and the World. And this is kind of, it feels like this recognition of the work that you've been putting in towards either yourself or some sort of goal or path. The 6 of Wands in this deck talks about being like the example, being showing the way. Like he has this guiding light coming out of his hand. You can't really tell. These cards are very, I don't know if you can see that. He has this light coming out of his hand, and I'm almost getting this image of like the Hermit card and how he's like holding a lantern. It's like a recognition of it. Like imagine someone that you look up to, and you look up to them because of their lived experience, the work that they have put in. This is how you are being seen, or at least like the recognition that is coming to you. And I say that because of the Ace of Wands. There's some kind of like inspiration or this like spark. Throughout this whole reading, there's been this talk of like being the spark to a flame. And actually, I was journaling earlier. My journal's under my phone. But one of the messages that came through is, this is the trial by fire and you are the match. And our final card here in this initial spread is the World. And I think that it is a full, you've done the work, you've had your trial or are about to go through your trial, and you're going to be rewarded for it in one way or another. How that shows up, it's going to be different for everyone. But we have some Moonology cards that I'll get into once I go through the tarot. I wanted to get more information on the Six of Wands, and I pulled the Five of Cups. And the Moonology card I pulled next to that is the Supermoon. Emotions are running high. I think there's been some challenges that you've faced in the emotional realm. The Five of Cups is a card that kind of talks about like disparity, dealing with grief, and being just completely overflown by negative and harmful energies. And the next card to clarify the Six of Wands and the Five of Cups was the Tower in reverse. And I think it was like this, you went through a period of really heavy, hard to handle emotions. And I think you might have been running from that for a while. It gives me this sense of like feeling like the world is falling apart around you and you're just grasping at straws trying to keep things together. And I think that was this challenge for you, was learning to like detach and unattach from these things around you. And the other Moonology card I pulled next to the Tower is communication is key. New Moon in Gemini. And I think what took place was this learning to communicate, not only communicate with yourself, but fully understand the more shadow aspects of the self. You had to really grapple with the bullshit and allow it to just like have its place within you. But also not allow, like, there was this shift in mindset that good things falling away does not mean that more good things won't come later down the line. And the other card that we pulled is the New Moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. I think it was a sense of self-love that you had to cultivate. You had to learn that while things on the surface feel tragic, feel like you are just destitute, like I said earlier, it's okay because you have yourself. You have your breath. And I think you might have been dealing with this for a while. Like it feels like this very long-standing energy. And I think that was like a big lesson in the last cycle, was learning to have this self-worth in the face of challenging situations, I'll say. And the Ace of Wands almost feels like not only this recognition that the universe is providing to you, in that like it wasn't all for nothing, but I think it's also this recognition within yourself, like having learned that lesson, it was such a revelation when it clicked that it caused this. I mean, the Ace of Wands, it has so much imagery of fire, and it is the suit of fire, but I think it sparked something within you. It was like you finally found the key. And to clarify, that was the Five of Pentacles. And I think I actually really didn't know how to interpret this card at first. And I'm going to move away from it and I'll come back to it. The next cards that we pulled were the Chariot in the upright and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. I think there was this sense that you felt within this revelation. There was this realization that you aren't alone, that you're able to ask for support from the people around you, or even from yourself, or like from your guides, from tarot, learning to like journal and take care of your inner world without feeling like all hope is lost immediately. I'm going to read the Three of Pentacles in reverse, actually, because I think there was something that I didn't touch on in there. I relish creative endeavor and collaboration. In reverse, it talks of obsession, isolation, and self-neglect. Not capable of sharing your talent. And with the Five of Pentacles, it definitely speaks to that energy of feeling like all hope is lost. But again, it's like this shift in perspective that at one point it felt like it was the end of the world. Like I have lost my way. And something that I've been learning about recently is like when addressing your shadow, learning to like tease that, prove it right, but in a positive light. And I feel like that's what this is speaking to with the Chariot. It's like, yes, I did lose my way, but that's because I had to find a new way. I had to figure out what the way ahead is going to look like. And learning like sometimes we are alone, but there's a beauty in that with so much space around you, there's only opportunity for growth. I hope that makes sense. And with the world, I feel like it's speaking to like the idea of growth, that because you've had this shift in perspective, understanding that all things happen for a reason. Things have to leave so that you can create space for better opportunities, just better in general. The card that we pulled clarifying the world was Judgment. And I feel like it is this, not only going from realizing that not all things are bad, but like fully owning that and knowing, like truly having faith in yourself and your way forward. I'm going to read Judgment as well. Give me just a moment. I am vibrantly alive and live into the God/goddess that I am. The larger processes and cycles of life that condition the landscape of the human mind and emotions bring focus, clarity, and understanding. A great revelation. Did I not literally just talk about this great revelation that you had? Unfinished business can be cleared. You are fully awake and alive to your creative potential. And I think that revelation fueled this way for you to handle the situations that are coming your way, this trial by fire we're talking about. And our final card was the Princess of Wands. I think there's just this energy of vibrance and true, authentic inspiration that, talking about this Six of Wands energy, you are going to use to guide others through similar situations, or even just not necessarily being a direct guide, but being someone that people can look to as that example. We're going to talk about the Moonology cards now. Above the Six of Wands, I pulled Nothing Will Come of This Situation, the Void of Course, Moon. And I feel like this being in the like past energy of this spread, I think it is that feeling of feeling like everything is going wrong. And with the bring love into the situation, emotions are running high, communication is key. There was all this work that had to go into yourself to find hope in the path forward. Learning to allow that darkness be viewed as like a blank page rather than the absence of anything. It is the opportunity to create your own galaxy, if you will, through self-love, through processing the darkness, through understanding the things that you're thinking and feeling, becoming that observer of self. And on the like more, I don't want to say future, but the energy that you are adjusting into, we pulled this card. I don't know if it's going to focus. You are good enough. The full moon in Virgo. It's very much, it feels like the result of that self-love. Being able to tell yourself that you are enough, that you deserve happiness, that you deserve to feel at peace. Next to the world, we pulled prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Again, that energy of like the blank space being viewed as potential rather than the absence of anything. And then I also pulled next to judgment, a new romantic cycle begins. So maybe we'll pull into more of that energy, new moon in Libra. I'm not really getting like love energy from this. I kind of feel like it's a new romantic cycle in the sense that you are now approaching relationships and situations of all kinds from a place of self-love rather than trying to serve other people's ideas of the world, or even being self-serving in the way of like not wanting to be disliked. But next to the Princess of Wands, I pulled a fiery climax approaches. Further, just like, I don't know if confounding is the right word, but emphasizing this point of this energy of fire, this passion that you are existing in. And all of these cards have this like orange glow to them, yellowy orange glow. A lot of like sacral chakra energy, which has to do with creativity and, kind of expression, but more like creative expression, that it's like your epicenter of creation. I also pulled a Citadel card, the Founder. This was in the past energy. It speaks of foundations and community. And I feel like this was, it being in the past speaks to you building this stable ground to like form yourself, to create the life that you envision from a healthy place. And I tried pulling a card for the future and nothing would come out, and I kind of it felt like I needed to wait until we went through everything so we could see this card come out together. So let's do that. I realized I never like properly talked about this deck. This is the Citadel Fantasy Oracle. It's done by Fen Inkage, and it has the most beautiful imagery I've ever seen. It's got this like gold flake to it with red and white imagery. It is just gorgeous. I love this deck so much. All right. Whoa. The Astronomer, Discovery, Augury. Let's read the oracle for this card. I'll read the oracle for the foundation, or the Founder first. And then. Okay. Give me just a moment while I find this card. Founder. 34. A tapestry hangs in the great hall, wide enough to cover the entire wall. It tells the tale of the Citadel's founding, the great battles that were fought, and the first stones that were laid. In the center is depicted the Citadel itself, a bastion of peace nestled in the landscape. Among the figures working on the walls, one humble person stands. This is the Citadel's founder, the warrior who laid down their blade to pick up the hammer instead. And I feel like that's what we were just talking about in this past energy of you learning to like build a really healthy sense of self, becoming the creator of your world rather than like almost like tearing yourself apart over any kinds of losses. I'm especially being called to that line, the warrior who laid down their blade to pick up the hammer instead. The oracle, to build a community, the foundations must first be laid. What sort of person must you be to best support those around you? Someone you know may be asking for help, but you may not be able to provide what they need right now. Assess whether you're the right person to assist them, and if not, work out why. What's holding you back from being the best support that you can be? Now is the time to address any unresolved feelings so that when you build the community, you can do it together. And I think that is especially talking about this idea that you can't help other people if you're not helping yourself. What's holding you back from being the best support that you can be? It's this defeatist mindset that you were living in the past that you had to work through and process. You can only support people if you have a true vision for what is possible for them. And the only way to do that is to know what's possible for you, to know that there's always hope. No one is ever too late or like beyond saving. And I think you really had to remind yourself that you are not the exception to that rule. Oh, I was putting the guidebook away. We still wanted to read The Astronomer. The Astronomer, 62. Gold instruments were, a telescope tilts upwards, revealing galaxies impossible distances away. The planets turn, reliable and infinite, unaffected by the frantic lives of men. The astronomer thrives in shadows, for it is the darkest night that shows the brightest of stars. That almost feels synchronistic to what I was talking about this darkness being a blank page. For it is the darkest night that shows the brightest of stars. Where others look to books and history for knowledge, the astronomer knows that there are greater powers at work in the world. The constellations tell them what they need to know. You're in a complex situation, and clues on how to navigate it won't come from past experiences. Now is the time to look both beyond and within for answers, and to trust your intuition. Let go of the material needs and concerns that are holding you back, and meditate on what your gut is telling you. Others who are like-minded may be able to guide you. Be open to their perspectives, but don't be bound by them. I think what lies before you is an opportunity. I just saw 1:44 when I looked at the clock. This opportunity for you to do things different than you have in the past. In creating this new sense of self, you aren't able to, you can use your past as a note of what did or didn't work, but at the same time, I think this is a chance for you to just completely start over, to write an entirely new story. We want to focus more on what we are feeling about the path ahead, because this is a new opportunity. We don't want to repeat the same mistakes. And it's not like, what's the point I'm trying to get at here? I just completely lost my train of thought, trying to call myself out. What was it? Oh my goodness. I literally just journaled about this because I'm in this sort of space in my life right now. I'm at a point where, I don't know. I'll just talk about this. I'm at a point where there's a situation that lies ahead of me, and I've done all the action that I can to get to this situation. 311, as I looked at the clock, which is an angel number about action and planning, setting plans into motion. Now the actual event is set in place, but the result of it could go any direction. And I'm having to really process this feeling of, it's scary being in this situation where you don't know what's going to happen, but it's also beautiful because it's a blank page. It is an opportunity for everything to go different, everything to expand in ways that I could have never imagined. The details of that, I'm not sure, and I don't really want to know before it happens. But it's beautiful because it feels like this time things are different, no matter the result of said situation. And I think there's some kind of message in there for you, in being okay with the path ahead being unclear, in just having faith in yourself, trusting that your intuition will guide you where you need to be to the results that are most in alignment for you. I could almost end this reading here, but I want to keep going. Okay. I'm gonna put all these cards back. Hmm. See, we're in this situation right now. I don't know where this reading's gonna go. I don't know where to go from here. I almost don't want to pull more tarot. I've been in a really weird space with tarot because, I mean, I love tarot cards, but also the messages that have been coming through for me have been more complex than the tarot are able to convey. So I've been like majorly using, like, I haven't really been posting a lot of readings, but when it comes to doing the readings for myself, oracle cards have kind of been the way I've been communing. So I think we're going to move forward with an oracle deck. I almost wanted to pull Sacred Cycles, but I don't have that deck in front of me, and I'm not going to get up to get it. So we're gonna pull some more Wicca oracle cards because I don't really know what else there is to talk about. I think the biggest thing, because we talked a lot about the past of like your energy and how you have shifted. But the point that Spirit really wants to drive home is that it has been worth it, and there's some form of reward coming in for that. And when I say reward loosely, because I think when we hear reward, we think very physical. But like that oracle card that we had before was talking about is like releasing the material. It's this spiritual, energetic reward. It is this newfound sense of fulfillment, and also like just peace, freedom. The ability to live fully in your truth. I think that is the reward. But there is something else there. What it is, I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe that's what we'll pull on. Game of Mirrors. There was a card that talked about that, wasn't there? I could have sworn we pulled a card that talked about your internal world being this space of mirrors. That might have just been a reading that I did for myself earlier today. This is card number 23. I'm going to pull a couple more. We got 3 more. The Found Moment. Pleasure as Eternity. The Abyss is Knowledge. I pulled this card earlier today. And also, when it comes to the Sapere Aude, I don't know how to pronounce it, that I felt inspired to use that as the guide for this reading because I used that card, I was journaling, and the prompt that I used was from that card. And I put it back, I shuffled, and then I was like, all right, I feel like there's more that I need to talk about. Show me. And then that card jumps out again. And I think that Spirit really just wanted me to like dive fully into that energy. So we have Game of Mirrors, The Found Moment, Pleasure as Eternity, and The Abyss is Knowledge. Meditation could be very significant at this time. I know I've been having to sit a lot more in stillness, being more conscious of the way I'm spending my time, because there have been a lot of emotions that I haven't really been, not necessarily not processing, but not giving the attention that they deserve, because there's more to the feelings that have been coming up than I realized at first. Like when it comes to my frustration, at first I was like, because I'm the event that I was talking about is I'm playing this show tomorrow night, and I've been practicing my set list, and I would get like halfway through my set list, and if it didn't sound exactly how I wanted, it would just make me angry. And as I journaled about it, I realized it was coming from this place of sadness, and I had to like really sit with that sadness and comfort myself and give myself a little, like, cut myself a little slack so that I'm not like pressuring myself into hating something that I love so much because I've spent so much time writing these songs and loved every second of it. But now that I'm trying to like mold them into something that I'm not, like this perfect image in my mind that isn't realistic, it almost makes me hate them because I'm not enjoying myself while I'm playing them. So today I've made it a point to, like, as I'm playing through this set, to just enjoy my time. And in turn, I had a lot more fun, and it went a lot better. I made it all the way through, and it ended up sounding great because I was just enjoying myself and not like focusing too much on the details. That could be significant. Don't focus on the details. Don't take yourself so seriously. Life is meant to, like, we are meant to have fun while we're here. But Pleasure is Eternity absolutely speaks of that. It's finding the joy in, difficult tasks. I wouldn't say this is like a difficult task. It is in its own way, but understanding that there is like pleasure within that pain, and that the pain comes from a place of caring about the things that you're doing, I suppose. Anyway, moving forward. I'm going to read just the oracle for these cards. First up, we have the Game of Mirrors. Visualize the future you want and simply create it. Do not let your dreams be influenced by others. Create your own reality in the best of all possible worlds. The world is what you represent about yourself. There is no inside and there is no outside. And speaking to what I was just talking about, the recognition that I had is that if I'm not being authentically myself, if I'm trying to be something that I'm not, it's going to show, and people are going to recognize that off me. But if I allow myself to make mistakes, allow myself to fumble, the willingness to do things poorly shows as this it gives an air of authenticity. It shows that I'm willing to stumble. I just saw 212, which is interesting because we have the 22 card and then the 12 card. I don't know what that angel number means, but you can look it up. I think Spirit really wants you to take note of the things that you're creating at this time. The way that you're creating as well. Like the card talks about. Our creations are, they say the world is a reflection of ourselves, but I think our creations are a reflection of ourselves. I think art, or creations of all kind, I think most anything can be art because art is like the expression of human creativity. What was I saying? It'll come back to me. I don't know. I think you have some sort of awareness of this blessing that's coming in. And I think the found moment is speaking to this impatience. It's like knowing that good things are coming and then just like sitting and waiting for them to show up. And while I understand that, I can sympathize with that. It's also important that we are not allowing the result of our actions to be the reason that we do the actions. The found moment speaks about enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, appreciating the found moment. Mindfulness practices and presence practices are definitely going to be significant at this time. I've had to be more conscious of it in the way that people are responding to my energy at this time. Knowing that like how fun this event is going to be for me. I'm not going to just sit and like wait for that event to come. I'm going to still take care of myself and really value the time that I have outside of this thing that I love. Spirit just wants you to make sure that you are taking full advantage of every moment, truly appreciating the beautiful I heard slog that life is. I don't really like that word, but that's what came through. And I think what they're trying to say with that is it's like the mundane is beautiful. Pleasure is eternity. No matter what is coming, there's always something that you can appreciate about where you are in this moment. And I'm interested about the Abyss's knowledge. Because that's a card that I feel like speaks to self-exploration. And the position it's in, I feel like it's something that needs to be recognized. It's like something that you're not really paying attention to. That is not right. I'm going to read its full description. She descends into its depths to know herself. Excuse me. While the eye of the one who sees all watches impassively, the flowers are let go into the abyss, while the hands of darkness try to seize her. Each one of us thus undertakes the journey into their own darkness, the trial by ordeal of true self-knowledge. We embark on this journey alone, stripped of all frills. This is how we have to accept it. And the oracle says, darkness is all around you, but it can only touch you if you are afraid of it. Through the test of this passage, you will get to know yourself better. The magic words are destiny and inescapability, and the power is in introspection and acceptance. I think the tower in reverse that came up earlier could even be speaking to something that's coming up. I think it's more the tower is finally here in a divine and beautiful way. And Spirit really wants you to just take advantage of the darkness that comes up. Because like this card talks about, the darkness is beautiful if you choose to look at it that way. If you allow the darkness to consume you, if you allow fear and anxiety to take hold, you're only going to manifest more of that. You're only going to find more of that in like everywhere you look. Because really, like this card isn't all darkness. It's actually kind of a beautiful landscape of clouds and, I mean, there's rose petals falling. But you have to have you have to be open to seeing it that way. Actually, I'm going to turn noise canceling mode off. No, we're going to leave it on, actually, just for continuity. I'll turn it off for the next one. Yeah, I was going to pull more cards, but I think you should sit with that. Sit with yourself. Journaling is very important at this time. I've had to get back into my journaling practice recently, both taking note of my dreams and the conscious journaling. Just take some time and just like word vomit onto the page. Because I think there's something that needs to be recognized. Both some sense of appreciation for where you are and some feelings of discomfort that you may be feeling. Yeah, take care of yourself. I'm going to leave this reading here. I hope this resonated for you. And remember that not all messages are for everyone, so if it doesn't resonate, just lovingly leave it for the next. I care for you deeply, and I'm sending you so much love and light. I'm thinking about opening my personal readings back up again. I might just do like a soft launch of that by